5 signs you're skinnier than you think. Are you really carrying excess fat? Perhaps you're a lot thinner than you think. Anything from bloating, to your clothes, to psychological factors might make you believe that you're heavier than you actually are. Keep watching to find out the likely culprits that could be making you look pudgy despite your healthy weight. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell to join us on the bright side. Number 5. Food allergies or intolerances. What you think is a layer of fat on your body might just be inflammation caused by the food you eat. But first, it's important to recognize the difference between a food allergy and a food intolerance. Food allergies can be pretty serious given that they involve the immune system. You see, the body usually has an anaphylactic or allergic reaction within just a few minutes or up to a couple of hours after the food was ingested. A food allergy can lead to the skin breaking out in hives, swelling up of the airway, and a frantic trip to the emergency room. Food intolerances involve a similar but less critical body response. The symptoms are pretty mild and easy to ignore. They include indigestion, stomach ache, bloating, and headaches. If you consume something that you're intolerant to, the tissues in your body can swell up. Your abdomen might expand, and your face can look pudgy, making you believe that you've gained weight. You might have a food intolerance without even knowing it. Some of the most common types are intolerance to lactose, wheat, gluten, and caffeine. If you constantly eat something that you're intolerant to, you'll be in a perpetual state of bloating. But the moment you stop eating that food, your whole body will look a lot skinnier. The best way of knowing if you have a food intolerance is to visit a doctor. They might ask you to keep a food journal to track your symptoms. This should help you find the food at fault through the process of elimination. Number 4. Clothes. Unflattering clothes can make you look much heavier than you really are. If your wardrobe is full of oversized clothes and prints or fabrics that add volume and dimension, you might start believing your body is bigger than it genuinely is. For women, it's best to avoid bulky sweaters, wide belts around the waist, and puffy coats. For your lower body, cropped pants can make your thigh area look wider, and printed pants tend to add a lot of volume to your legs. T-length skirts can make your whole lower body look bigger, and skinny jeans may accentuate pudgy areas if the jeans are too tight. Underwear is also important. A bra that's too tight or the wrong size can make it look like you have back fat when in reality you don't. Men should avoid suits that are too big, pants that are excessively baggy, and chunky sweaters with bright patterns. The best clothes to wear for both men and women should fit without being too constricting or too loose. They should make use of light fabrics while not allowing the fabric to hang off in layers. If you're guilty of these fashion faux pas, now you have a great excuse to go shopping for some new clothes. But before you hit the stores, remember that the size of the clothing you wear can also cause you to have certain ideas about how big your body is. People often label themselves by saying, "I'm a size 12" or "I'm a large." If you usually wear large tees, just know that it's entirely possible that you might fit into a medium in one store or even a small in another. Clothing sizes vary drastically depending on things like the brand, store, or manufacturer. So if you're usually a size 6 and need to go up a size for a better fit, don't focus too much on what that sizing label says because it is not a reflection of your weight. Number 3. Body dysmorphia. People who suffer from body dysmorphia may focus on a perceived body flaw, when in reality it might be very small or even non-existent. If you spend a lot of time thinking about your weight, trying to get skinnier, and carrying out obsessive rituals, you might suffer from body dysmorphic disorder. Since this is a psychological condition, it's best that you see a doctor who can offer guidance. It's also ideal to be aware of how much you should weigh according to your age, gender, and height. There are a lot of calculators online that can help you figure out what your body mass index should be. Number 2. Water retention. Water retention tends to happen in the ankles, feet, and legs, but it can also be present in your face. If your cheeks seem to be sticking out more when you were hoping for defined cheekbones or a chiseled jawline, excess fluids could be the culprit. Water retention should not be confused with sudden facial swelling. Facial swelling that happens overnight could point to a serious medical condition like preeclampsia, sinusitis, an eye infection, an allergic reaction, or a side effect to some medication. In this case, visiting a doctor is a must. But if you've noticed that your face is getting puffier without any other symptoms, too much salt in your diet could also be the reason, since excess sodium causes fluid retention. If this sounds like you, then just cut back on your salt intake. you'll quickly lose the excess water weight you've been carrying around. Your body also becomes less efficient at removing fluids when you're out and about in hot weather, and this can also make you look bigger. Certain foods like grapefruit, celery, asparagus, egg yolks, yogurt, and cottage cheese can help fight off mild fluid retention. Number 1. Abdominal bloating. If you wake up one morning, look at yourself in the mirror, and discover a round belly that wasn't there last time you checked, there's no need to panic. There are certain conditions that can exacerbate abdominal bloating, and many of them can go undetected for years. They include irritable bowel syndrome, premenstrual syndrome, ovarian cysts, and celiac disease. But bloating usually isn't serious. Most people have experienced a belly that's tight, swollen, and can't be sucked in at some point in their life. It's often caused by hormonal changes as well as consuming too much salt, sugar, or carbonated drinks. If your whole body feels heavy and you've got a bloated belly, this can have a big impact on your appearance, which can be worrisome to say the least. The good news is that bloating is temporary. As soon as you remove the factor that's causing you to bloat up, whether that's treating a condition like IBS or simply saying no to fizzy drinks, your stomach will return to its former flatter self. You can also fast-track this process by going for a walk, massaging your abdomen, and taking some peppermint oil capsules. A long-term solution would involve adding more fiber to your diet, exercising regularly, and cutting down your portion sizes. According to a 2010 study at University College London, our perception of our body size tends to be distorted. In fact, our brain usually sees our body as up to 2/3 bigger than it actually is. So, it's best to stick to the facts, know what your ideal body weight is, and watch out for the foods that might make you appear bloated. So, which of these signs apply to you? Let us know in the comments below. Be sure to give this video a like, share it with your friends, and click subscribe to stay on the bright side of life.